Hey, this is Chris with the 7-Minute Fix. Welcome to episode 12, which is actually lesson 2 in our After Effects tutorial for this week. Before we get started, I'm going to show you the video that we will complete near the end. Alright, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to come over here to your timeline, and we're going to scroll over and we're going to stop right here. This right here is actually the first thing that you're going to do. You're going to build the basis of what everything else is going to look like when it all comes together. So this is 3 different parts. You can see, or 4, I'm sorry. This is the white solid in the background with a small gradient. This is the revolution right there. This is the star, which is just a image I pulled. And this is student ministries. I added a tiny shadow to everything else. This is the camera on our layers, but we're going to get that in just a little bit. First off, what we're going to talk about is this first part that pops out. So the first thing that we have going on is we have the star sliding into place with it revealing revolution as it goes over it, and then the student ministries comes down below that. So let's open up our star right here, and there's a few different things. Here's how I'd build this. Not everyone's going to build it the same, obviously, but here's how I would have built this. So what I always do is start with the star off camera, and then I find where I want it to stay, and then I put the position there. In this case, revolution is connected to that, or we want it to be, and so you see nothing's actually linked here. What we actually do is go down to revolution, and we're going to create a mask. So with that mask, all I did was I took this mask right here. If I click it, you can see it. And I had a starting point of completely off, and then I had an ending point of all the way around revolution. What happens then is it progresses, and all I did was make sure that that matched when the star went past it. And so we get this little back and forth thing here of when it passes over to where it ends up. That's also the same thing I did with student ministries. We're going down to student ministries, click our mask here, and you can see there's where the mask is, and there's student ministries as it pops down into it. So there's 2 things going on here with student ministries. If we look back at revolution, there was no movement. Revolution was stuck in the place that it was. It hasn't moved the entire time. It's just a mask that's being put over it. However, student ministries is a little different. Not only do we go with a mask, what we had to do was actually move it. So what I did first was put it down where I wanted with the mask around it. Then I backed up to where I wanted it to start to come down, moved student ministries up here, and put my mask down here. So then when it's animated, it looks as though student ministries is coming down, but it's hiding behind revolution because the mask is not showing it at that given point in time. We are going to skip ahead. We're going to skip ahead through this part right here, come to that later, and then we're going to get to the end, of course, where we have student ministries go back up inside, which really all this is just doing the exact same thing backwards, except we did add one small thing here, and you can see it, is we made the star spin, and all I did with that was came down here to the rotation, Z rotation, and I just turned it every little bit so that each time that it comes to a point at the top, that's where it's spinning, and then I just moved it from one point from here to here. Again, after that, then all I had to do was connect the mask from revolution right here and move it to where I wanted it to be blocked so it would follow the star. And sure enough, we get this nice little effect of it doing that. So, of course, the other part is the flashy part where the text flies around. Now, this part is actually a lot easier than it seems, and that's all by this camera motion right here. Now, you can make things 3D to make the camera motion do this. This would be to move it in 3D space where it would be turning around in circles, be going in and out of each other and that type of thing. But really all I used it for was for the camera to move around the screen. And so really all I did was just zoom in. So we start right here, which is the first moment, and then I zoomed in. So we start right here at our first moment. I'm going to do this right here so we can see it a little bit closer. And so you got our first moment, and then we move over one, and that's where it's zoomed in. And all I did was move that camera in one tiny little bit. So we go to the very next point, and right before I did that, I would keep one there so that it didn't do a gradual. I'll show you real quick what happens. If I delete that, what it would have actually done was move gradually to the next spot. I didn't want it to do that though, I just wanted it to jump. So we'll see the next one, boom, right there. And of course, we've got a couple more, smaller over there, and lastly to our ending spot. Again, how I did that was our starting point was there. All I did was copy that exact thing and put it all the way down here, and then went back and added the things in the middle. And that's how we can see what we have at the end, which is where the star comes in, reveals revolution, student ministries comes down, it jumps around a little bit, it comes back, the star begins to spin, or student ministries goes out, the star begins to spin, and we are off camera. So that's just a quick example of how you would make a really cool youth logo animation. I am including a downloadable link in the description of the After Effects file so that you could go in and play with it yourself, as well as you could actually go in and change the text and the image for your own logo and animate it yourself. Let me know if you have any thoughts or questions below in the comments section. We'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching another 7-minute fix, and check out some more of our videos.